I see a lot of people over on forums, in chat rooms, and on Facebook asking the question, what is the best time frame chart to trade off of? I mean, just in the past couple of months, I've seen this topic come up around a dozen times in different places. So apparently this is an important question. And on today's episode, we're going to answer that question. So let's do this. Welcome back to the Supercharger Trading Podcast. I am your host, 𝐂𝐤, and on today's episode, we are talking about what is the best time frame chart to trade off of. But before we get into that, I want to ask you to go over to 7figurecashflowsecrets.com and sign up for our free Forex trading community. In the community, you will be able to ask questions on trading, chat with other like-minded traders, and on top of it, you'll get access to our Forex 101 course absolutely free. So again, that website is 7figurecashflowsecrets.com. Okay. Let's get into this. So what is the best time frame chart to trade off of? I'll get to that in a second. But before I answer that, let me ask you this. What do you think it is? I've heard so many people touting that the daily time frame chart is the best and most true time frame chart there is. Other quote-unquote famous traders like Niall Fuller, Jared Davis, and many other traders say things like this all the time. I've even heard some of the quote-unquote big dogs in trading say the daily time frame is the best. Then on the other end of the scale, you have the other half saying that you should be a scalper and trade off the 5-minute or the 1-minute chart, or maybe even tick charts. That these are the best time frames to choose from because you can make a lot of money very fast, supposedly. And you can be in and out of the markets in minutes, seconds even. So back to the question at hand. What is the best time frame to trade off of? I bet you already know the answer. And the answer is none is better than any other. I really think it all comes down to what type of person you are and what lifestyle you have. You deciding to trade off of a certain time frame is a matter of you analyzing who you are and what you want out of trading and what you want your lifestyle and daily routines to be. For me, I prefer to trade off of the 4-hour charts, the 1-hour charts, and maybe even the 15-minute time frame charts. Why? Because it suits me. I'm the type of person that I love sitting in front of my computer all day, looking at my charts and analyzing the markets. And for me, it would be, and if I would be trading off the daily time frame, this would drive me nuts having to wait days and weeks and maybe even months for me to know if I have to make a profit or not. No, thank you. Now, don't get me wrong. I do trade on the daily sometimes, but it's rare. Only if I see an amazing opportunity. And to add to that, I also cannot handle the stress and whipsaws of lower time frame charts like the 5-minute or 1-minute time frame charts. I also don't want to pay my broker a huge amount of money just to trade. I want to keep as much money as possible, and you end up giving so much more to your broker than you realize when you're scalping. I tried scalping for a while way back in the day and found I was giving over 40% of my profits to my broker in fees. I was like, oh my God. So I then decided that I should be trading on higher time frame charts so that I don't have to give my broker so much of my money. So what time frame works for you? I've actually created a little checklist of items that you can ask yourself in order to find what time frame suits you best. So let's go through them real quick. Number 1, do you have a job, or is this the way that you're going to make money from here on out? I ask this because if you have a job where you can't be in front of your computer all the time, this is going to cut out the lower time frame charts like the 5-minute and 1-minute time frames. You're not going to be able to do any type of scalping. Number 2, how much time do you even want to be in front of your computer? If you can spend all day in front of your computer, you certainly do not want to trade off of the higher time frames like the monthly, the weekly, or the daily time frames. Like me, this will most likely drive you bonkers. Might not, but I know for me it does. Number 3, how well do you handle stress? I can handle stress pretty well, but not enough for the 1-minute or less time frame charts. But I have a lot of friends that have no problem with this. They have their systems and deal with the stress of those lower time frames very well. They are true scalpers. If you can handle the stress and have the time to put in, maybe those lower time frames are for you. Number 4, what is your lifestyle like? Are you the type person that you are always on the move, going here or there? Or are you a homebody that doesn't really like going out and socializing? This will help you answer the second question of how much time to be in front of your computer. I am the type of person, I like being home, working on my computer, much more than going out and socializing. Unless it comes to actually traveling. I would get up and out in a heartbeat if that meant I was going to be going out traveling somewhere, especially if it's somewhere I've never been to. Number 5, how dedicated are you sticking with your trading plan and committing to a routine? This will also help you decide which time frame to trade from. Number 6, what is your trading system like? Now, if you have a scalping system, you might not even be able to even make it work on a higher time frame. So you got to question your actual system you're using as well. What time frames will it work on? The type of systems that I trade work on every time frame. So it doesn't really matter what time frame I choose, but the systems that you use may only work on certain time frames. Now again, I chose the 1 hour and 15-minute time frames. I chose these due to my personality and what I wanted from my trading business. But I also chose these for other reasons. Being a former Tibetan Buddhist monk, I learned a lot about what is called the middle way or the middle path, not going to the extremes in anything. The Buddha talked about this a lot. And so I thought if everyone is talking about the higher time frames like the daily and monthly and so forth, and then on the other end of the scale, you have the scalpers, then I kind of wanted to be somewhere in the middle. And that is where the 1 hour, the 30-minute time frames lie. And that's where I trade. I have also analyzed my winning percentages in back testing, forward testing of multiple time frames. I have tested my system on the daily time frame, the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 15-minute, the 5-minute, the 1-minute time frame, as well as custom time frame charts. And I found that the 1 hour and the 15-minute time frames were by far the most profitable for me. Yes, they worked in other time frames, but they were just more profitable in those particular time frames. So in the end, that is what I chose. For me, for my trading style, and for my system, that is what works for me. So what time frame will you choose? Connect with me in our free community over at 7figurecashflowsecrets.com and let me know what you picked and why. I would love to hear from you. And if you like this content, please give us a rating and review over on wherever you are listening to this at. And if you're over on YouTube, please hit like and subscribe. I would really appreciate that. So until next time, stay well and happy trading.